Hello everyone, and welcome to week 2 of, I don't know what we call this, interviews.
You don't even have a name for this show?
No, we don't have a name. On the couch with that bloke from Docter, I don't know. This week I'm joined by the very talented Zoe Ventoura and Darren McMullen.
Thanks.
Applause for the 3 people in the room. If you'd like to clap yourself. Welcome guys. We have a new set. This is the boardroom at Channel 9 in North Sydney, so we're...
Are you breaking the fourth wall here? They don't know that. This could just be an
this
elaborate studio.
This is the kind of edgy show that you're on. we do those things.
Could be your lounge room.
Not this nice, believe you me. Anyway, we digress. We're here to talk about your time on Docter. Congratulations to you both, because it was a tough storyline. Let's be honest. Our show is probably known for, its lightheartedness. And you guys got a pretty serious storyline to tackle. So, what were your thoughts initially when the roles came to you?
I thought it was a beautiful storyline, and I was excited to be able to tell that story on a show like this, because I know that what I love about it, and I think what audiences love about it, is that there is that beautiful balance between the comedy and the drama, but the lightheartedness and but the truth and the realness of it as well. So I was excited to tell this kind of story, which I know affects so many people. But on this show, I was interested to see how it was going to play out, and then with this cast as well was really exciting.
I was just happy to have a job. So
well, as we all...
I would have picked up garbage for the,
Well, it was 2020. So
yeah,
it's
true.
It was 2020 when we shot it. So production was scarce. Yes, it was good to have a job.
It was. On that point, though, it is quite an interesting concept, being on a drama but that leans heavier into the comedy and playing such a dramatic kind of storyline, because it does lend itself to comedy. There's a beautiful kind of lightness on the set, and everyone's quite jovial and jokey. And there certainly was moments at your funeral where the jokes were a little wild, and you just kind of had to step off set for a bit and then come back. Although in saying that,
awful.
Your dying scene though, that was a really respectful room. I felt that was that was you didn't feel awkward about really just going there and breaking down.
Yeah, that was awful. That was awful to film.
And those the kids, Coco and
they were gorgeous. They just did a beautiful job. And the crew. I think everybody knows when they're filming that kind of stuff that there's just a quietness and a respect, and so that we have.
Well, Ryan Johnson wasn't there. So
when I say Ryan is probably the worst person, if you did do anything serious whatsoever, Ryan Johnson is the worst person to be playing opposite.
Because he's just got a funny-looking face. It's just hard to be serious looking at.
But I think what you guys did over a fairly short amount of time, so it was only 2 episodes for the Cassie character, and of course Wes continues on, and we see that journey.
I wish he was continued on more. Well, why did he not continue on?
Who's to say he doesn't? Darren? Spoiler alert. But I was such a short amount of time to sort of to have a really well-rounded relationship between the two of you, because we hadn't met you on Docter, and we see you kind of through the eyes. Well, first through Hugh at the hospital, but then obviously Matt and Charlie come back from overseas, and we sort of see them through their eyes as being kind of old friends, but you managed to quickly sort of show us all that relationship and that bond that you have and that family. And sort of the final scene for Cassie was heartbreaking, but I think it's facing up to the reality of those 2 characters, that she was terminal. There was sort of no magical happy ending that we were going to portray on the show, and it's sort of preparing yourselves and your family for the inevitable, which was really a touching storyline.
Yeah, I thought watching the episode last week, it was really beautiful when Wes goes to Hugh and says, "Is there anything else to be done? What if there is?" And you have that beautiful moment of like, "I don't think so," and it just really encapsulated the whole kind of storyline, I think, of just, yeah.
Do you
that
remember the
journey.
beautiful moment when we woke him up and he had drool hanging from his mouth and he was stuck to the paper that he was lying on?
Comedy and drama being weaved together.
It's nice.
It's not the first character that you've played that has passed away, of course, because it was.
I was actually going to say, when he was talking about funerals, I was like, I haven't filmed many funerals because I've been the deceased a few times.
Have you really? Do you always die?
Listen, not always.
We were saying about Sean Bean from Game of Thrones. I think he's died. I think 26 times. And,
I've got a lot of work to do to catch up to him.
Yeah, I mean, but I
I'm
looked it
getting
up.
there.
It's not even in the top 10. Like,
What?
there are people in their 50s and
Wow.
60s. But the roles, they've
Right.
died that many times.
Do you know The Rock has in his contract he can't lose a fight, number one, and he can't die in a movie.
Yeah, I've got a similar one. I always lose
You just
fights.
save lives.
We were talking earlier about, I get asked, how did you get into the industry, and your kids and so forth, ask you, how did you get your first start? And we're all kind of similar in the way that we didn't necessarily go through that traditional kind of drama school and theatre background, and then onto telly. We sort of started in other parts of the entertainment industry. I started in bands and then went into a musical and started doing screen stuff after that. What about yourselves? I know, obviously, the presenting.
Yeah, presenting. It was presenting for me, and then acting's always something I did at school, and I kind of fell into the presenting side of things and kind of ran with that, for many years. But I was always drawn back to the acting stuff, and I tinkered with it throughout the years, and with House Husbands, and I thought, no, this is 100% what I need to be doing now. And then a big hosting gig will come up, and I was like, oh, well, you've got to swim downstream sometimes as well. And then when Sea Change happens, similar thing. God, okay, sticking with the acting now, definitely sticking with the acting. And then The Voice popped up again. I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll do this hosting thing again. And the same thing's happened now with Docter.
So you're an actor until you get to sell out.
Correct, yeah. Well, you got to pay the bills,
And so you started, I know you worked with my wife for musical theatre.
I did.
Yes.
I was there the night you guys met. Anyway,
Were you
that's not the
really?
story.
There's a
I
whole
was.
Uh,
It was really cute. Yes, I was a dancer, and I went to BCA and studied dance because I wanted to be a contemporary dancer, dancing companies and stuff. Same thing, just kind of fell into music theatre while I was kind of waiting to get a dance job, and loved it, and then ended up doing that for a few years, and then was like, oh, hang on a second, I really like more the acting part of the shows. So yeah, just kind of went back and studied, just not at a school, but just put myself through classes and blah blah blah. And yeah, just tried to work my way into film and TV from there.
Now, this is not the first time that we have worked together.
Oh no!
So-
Oh no! I forgot.
How could you forget
Wow,
that?
that
I mean, I never
memorable.
forgot, but
Yeah,
as in before this chat, I didn't think. But
No,
was thinking. That was my
you have to
first-
dig. I don't even know it's on the internet, but there was a show called Last Men Standing on set of
It
years and years
It
ago.
was my first guest role
There
on
you
TV.
go. And Zoe was on it. Very memorable role. So was it the pilot? I think it was the pilot, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the pilot.
Yeah,
So
so.
one of the main characters, Matt Passport, we begged him not to pick up at a wedding because he's notorious for doing it, the character. And here comes your character.
Yes.
And we thought, the characters thought, oh, he can't help himself. And then it culminates in a really great scene back at his apartment, you in a cheerleader's outfit.
Because I was a cheerleader.
Doing a high kick and knocking yourself out because you kicked yourself in the head.
So that kind of
Hilarious. I mean, that passed for comedy back in 2000.
that kind of circles back to how well, not how I transitioned, but I think I got that role because they needed someone who could act, I guess, hopefully, but also who could
Kick a leg.
kick their leg and knock themselves out and pass out.
And that's always
And I
been
did it.
your best part trick.
So I guess that was my thing in 2000 and whenever that was. So yeah, that was my first.
Good
I was
times,
so
ladies and
nervous. Anyway, that was
There'll be
great.
someone on the
Still
internet.
do that.
I don't think so. It would take me like a day to warm up.
Okay, so we threw it out to people across your socials and across the Doctor socials to ask you some questions. And on come the old man speaks.
He does this to look sophisticated.
That's true.
It's
That's
called
right.
20/20 vision.
The Nicole De Silva, don't know who that is, asks, how are you both so good looking?
Oh.
I got it from my mama.
Thanks, Nicole. For
Thanks,
that.
babe.
Wow. Is that question?
Is that the actual Nicole De Silva?
It is the actual
Is
Nicole
it?
Silva.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Love the show, Docter, and I love how it's filmed in the town of Mudgee. I was going to ask you, Darren, about Mudgee, because you do like wine.
Love wine, yeah.
So it must have been horrible. I do remember.
I was a double agent when I was there, filming Docter. I was actually doing a bunch of wine reviews as well. So.
But didn't you have like a big gap? You were there for like 4 days and kind of worked one and then had 3 days off, which is a bit dangerous in a town like Mudgee for some
Very, very dangerous. But my first time in Mudgee, and I can appreciate how special this whole Docter experience must have been for the whole cast and crew, getting to essentially go on holiday, out of Sydney, and the kind of friendships that creates from being away from your day-to-day life.
It's like school camp.
Yeah.
When you go away. So we got to go away, obviously, to down to around the Camden area, where the homestead is. So we would stay down at Camden, and then we'd go away to Mudgee. So it was, we'd go and eat together and go to cafes and stuff.
Right.
And yes, it's like a big.
And the people are so welcoming there as well, aren't they? It's always like, no, the Docter people are in town.
Yeah.
Come on in. We're going to
We're all on
take it
sort
for
of
you.
first name basis, which is important with winemakers and publicans.
Actually, there's a wine named after you down there.
There is. We did one for Lowe's wine. There is.
Yeah.
Well, it's missing the D in Roger, but anyway, I'll forgive them.
Details.
So we can cut all these bits out yourself like that. We shot 45 minutes last week. They cut it down to 10. In fact, we had a really great conversation about olives, Nicole and I.
Oh.
And that was cut out.
And we
Well,
missed
they fast forwarded through the whole thing. Hilarious. There's a lot of great tips there. Olives.
What is it? Why do you like olives so much?
Well, I grow olives, and anyway,
Do you really?
yeah. Well, when you get
It's
to
not
my
bad.
age, you don't have much more.
How old are you?
He's 174.
Will we see more of Darren in upcoming episodes, even though his wife has passed on?
So I basically, while my wife is not even cold in the ground, I decide to move in on one of her best friends, Nicole De Silva.
What happens at all?
No, it's not. It's not. He's going through a really, tough time and dealing with grief. And there's not really many people that can share that with them. But Nicole is one because she was friends with you. And I think, through her coming to help me a lot and being there, the kind of boundaries get mixed.
I mean, he's dealing with having to be the sole parent now, and also just knowing what that direction is for his kids.
Yeah.
Moving on and just sort of feeling, I suppose.
Yeah.
Kind of
And he's a young guy. He's looking for a new wife. And look, Nicole De Silva
Clock's ticking.
could do worse
in
in
5
a
seconds.
town like Waiho. Slim pickings.
Have you ever played this type of sort of character before? Or that was kind of what kind of drew you to the role, I suppose.
I'm just very quickly flicking through. No, I don't think I have. Yeah, so it was what drew me to it, I guess.
Yeah, something different to play.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, well, I've never played an Aussie before, so that was
That's right,
interesting.
we had the Aussie accent.
I had the Aussie accent, and I kind of fought for that a bit because they did, after I auditioned, they just said, hey, do you mind doing your normal accent? I was like, I do, actually. I think I've done that. I was Scottish in Sea Change. I was Scottish in House Husbands, and I think, I've been here long enough that I should be able to do an Australian accent. Let me know in the comments below.
Yeah.
So I fought to keep that Aussie accent. It didn't make sense to me that this Waiho mechanic would be Scottish.
Well, thanks for joining me on the couch.
Maybe
That's the name of the show. On the couch. On the couch.
On the couch.
Raj.
On the couch with Rog. As I said, everyone, there's been some really, really wonderful, great responses to both your performances last week, and yours continues this week.
It does, yeah.
So tune in Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. For episode 3 of Docter. But if we have an audience, I'd say please thank. But Darren McMullen and Zoe Ventoura.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
It was fun working with you.
Oh, something with
You too.
Thanks, mate.
I had a laugh. Let's do a season.
But not.
Let's do a
But
season
also
6.
not a laugh. It was devastating.
Yeah, a devastating laugh.
A devastating, heartbreaking laugh.